Number 10. Sanji pervs on younger Nami. Sanji's love of women is a little too ardent sometimes. In One Piece film Z, several members of the Straw Hats are de-aged by one of the movie's villains, Ain. This leaves them a decade younger, which in Nami's case means her body is around 8 years old. She and the rest of the crew find their reduced ages inconvenient, but Sanji has a perverse reaction. He finds the prospect of watching Nami develop in real time exciting. We have to agree with Zoro's succinct assessment of Sanji's attitude. At least this is from a movie, so it's not technically canon. Number 9. Wanzs noodles. While some of the Straw Hats are aboard the government sea train trying to rescue one of their own, they run into Wanzs, a government agent as well as a chef. Wanzs is one of the most obnoxious and repellent characters in One Piece. Although his constant derpy smile and his rapid dialogue are irritating enough, it's his cooking that's so upsetting. Wanzs fights by encasing his body in ramen noodle dough. While Sanji, as a chef, finds this offensive, anyone and everyone should be offended by how he makes it. The disgusting excuse for a culinary fighter kneads the dough in his mouth and uses his nose hair to strain it into noodles. It's a wonder his co-workers aren't constantly ill. Number 8. Robin's backstory. Let's get one thing straight up front. Nico Robin's backstory is one of the best in the series. It's emotional and brilliantly written. However, one of the reasons it's so affecting is because of how traumatic it is for both Robin and the audience. Robin loses her mother, her friends, and everyone she has ever known in one day. The world government commits genocide by bombarding her home island, Ohara, with 12 warships. And all because some scholars discover a secret they don't want getting out. Robin going through all that at a young age, it breaks our hearts just to think about it. Number 7. Happiness Punch. Bathhouse and onsen scenes are a common anime fixture, and One Piece indulges in this trope a few times. On this occasion, the Straw Hats relax in one after saving Alabasta from Crocodile. They're joined by Vivi's father, King Cobra, as well as his retainer, Igaram, and the camel, Eyelashes. His Majesty the King is disturbingly eager to point out the wall dividing the men's and women's baths. I mean, your daughter's over there, Cobra, come on. And everyone but Zoro decides to do a little peeping. Not only that, but Nami decides to flash them all, albeit with the caveat that they all pay her later. Nosebleed knockouts ensue. These perverted situations are common, but this particular instance feels out of character for multiple people involved. Number 6. Sanji in Nami's body. On the island Punk Hazard, about half the Straw Hat Pirates have their minds swapped between each other's bodies. Unfortunately, Sanji has his mind put into Nami's body. As you might imagine, Sanji cannot contain his perverted urges. He expresses a desire to look at Nami's body naked and to find a camera, presumably to commemorate the experience. Sanji also gets far too excited at the prospect of temporarily having breasts. He even gets an adrenaline boost by groping Nami's chest. While the whole body swap section leads to some great gags, Sanji's jokes go a bit too far. Number 5. The 4Kids dub. Like many anime that were localized during the early 2000s, One Piece received a dub by the company 4Kids Entertainment. And like most of them, this dub is a crime against artistic integrity, Japan, and human decency.
One more punch and say goodbye to your friend! I'll pummel his head flatter than the shape of the earth!
Entire story arcs were cut, references to death, including guns, were censored, jokes were added where there was none before, even some characters' names were changed. The official English manga still has Zoro's name as Zolo because of this monstrosity. The 4Kids dub arguably did more to hurt the series' reputation in the West than it did help.
Your cursed fruit moves are cute, they amuse me. But you use them as if you were ordering from a fast food menu.
We'll grant that the rap opening is catchy though, if only in an annoying earworm kind of way.
Oh. Don't give it up, Luffy! Don't give it up, Zolo! Don't give it up, Nami!
Number 4. Law's backstory. Trafalgar Law has another backstory that's deeply upsetting. Most of his country contracted a preventable poisoning disease through the greed of its rulers and the world government.
どうやって逃げてきた?
死体の山に隠れて国境を越えた。
His people were also exterminated, with his family and friends dying before his eyes. Law endured more trauma than anyone should. And when he was an angry young man looking to lash out at the world, his idol Corazon found a way to get him a cure. But just when things were finally looking up, Corazon was killed by his brother, Doflamingo. Again, we're not saying it's not a phenomenal backstory, we just feel we need therapy after watching it. Number 3. Sanji's reasons for donning his raid suit. Sanji despises his family and everything to do with them. He's barely convinced to keep the quick change raid suits the Vinsmokes / Germa 66 give him, and yet upon arriving in Wano country, at the first moment he needs to hide his identity, he throws his convictions away to disguise himself with the suit.
あれは確かジェルマの。こんなものを身につけたくらいで、俺はジェルマにはなり下がらねえ。
Not only does this go back on Sanji's character, it doesn't even work since Germa's suits are extremely famous.
悪の軍団ジェルマ66のナンバー3ステルスブラック。
Still, what's worse is that he uses the suit's invisibility function to spy on a women's bathhouse.
幸せバンジー。
While Sanji wearing the suit does become an important plot point later, his initial reasons for donning it feel flimsy and detract from his character in more ways than one. It does look cool though. Number 2. All the fake out deaths. For as much as One Piece's author Eiichiro Oda doesn't pull any punches most of the time, there is one area where he does: deaths. Outside of flashbacks, characters rarely die, even when it's absolutely certain they should.
忘れ物だ俺。
ありがとう。
Side characters like Pell, Pagia, and recently Kinemon are put in situations where they're blown up or hit by attacks they should not possibly survive, only to escape unscathed.
Energy.
まさか
コニーさん。
コニス。
てめえの話だよ。
生きててすいません。
Sometimes the stakes don't feel as high with the knowledge that everyone will most likely make it out alive.
言わせてほしいのね。結婚
おめでとうシーファー
It's come to the point where when characters do die in the series, the audience is waiting for the other shoe to drop, instead of mourning them properly. Number 1. Everything about Absalom. The lion-faced man is everything off-color about Sanji turned up even further. Absalom appears on Thriller Bark, where he instantly develops an unhealthy obsession with Nami. The creep gropes her in the shower. Then, after Nami makes it clear she isn't interested, Absalom kidnaps her, knocks her unconscious, and tries to marry her while she's still out. Sanji, being jealous of his ability to spy on women, just serves to drag one of our heroes down to a level that's nearly as despicable. Absalom honestly feels like a bridge too far, and after this, Sanji's perverted traits are just highlighted much more frequently. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.